Yeah, so I feel like the confusing story that I was just trying to tell you right there was baby mamas can end up becoming the mothers of boys who then become the mama's boys, the boys of the mamas, and therefore the boys becomes mama's boys. That is how that story went. It was very long. But we get into the conversation of trying to find out, is your man a mama's boy? And I think we start to define mama's boys from the very beginning. What is a mama's boy? A mama's boy is because everyone loves their mother. That's normal. Everybody loves their mother and everybody's mother loves them. Unless in rare occasions they don't. But I think like 99.9% of people love their parents, especially their mothers, and the mothers love their children as well. That's why I see mothers will lie for their children. They will lie. They will lie for criminals because they love their children. But how do you know what a mama's boy is? A mama's boy is, in this definition, describes a man who has a close, dependent relationship with his mother, often detrimental to his romantic relationship. So the highlights here that we're highlighting are: one, it is a dependent relationship with the mother, and it is detrimental to their romantic relationships. So I think those two things are huge signs of you realizing, is my man a mama's boy or is he not? Because if it is a codependent relationship, you know, they can't make a decision before they have called their mother. Yani anataka kununua gari, anapigia mamake simu. Ni kama mama yake is a what do you call it? Is a kayad. How will she know? How she gonna know? How is she gonna know? Akona YouTube channel ya could discuss cars? No. Eh? You are trying to buy a house. The first person you're calling is your mother. Let me ask you a question. Is your mother a real estate agent? Because if they're not, why are you asking them? This should be information you tell them, Mom, I bought a house. You get what I'm saying? Why do we have to? He wants to buy gas. Surely. You are calling your mother to find out kama utanunua ile ya pink ama utanunua ile ya green ama ile ya yellow, na ni keji gani na kuanga mzuri na kaanga, ni gani na kaanga. As a curtains, it is the mother who knows the exact shop where they bought because they bought together. It's a lot. It's giving a lot. That is a level of codependency that is just insane. And even in cases where, because people assume that mama's boys are mama's boys because their dad wasn't there or something like that. But in some cases, even their father is there. But wameshikana na mama yao hivi. Udaku tu. Kila. Yani, mkienda ushago geshagi kabla hata aende kusalimia mzee, ameingia kitchen kuambiwa udaku ya the whole neighborhood. It's a lot. It's really a lot. It's a lot. It's really, really a lot. And there's nothing wrong, again, with loving your mother, and there's nothing wrong with your mother loving you. But when it becomes such a codependent relationship, you can't make a decision without her knowing and her input. You can't move. You can't, yani, physically and mentally, you are dictated by your parents, specifically your mom. That's a mama's right there. And that's how you know.
And it's true, we all love our parents.
Yes.
But it gets to a point where, you know, your partner is texting somebody and they're giggling like like, wow, who are you texting? Like, oh, my mom. What do you mean? They're always calling, texting, FaceTiming with their mother, everything. You know how you do it with your friend, especially when you're in love. You'll know the stage. You keep the lights on at this telecommunication company. You know, responsible for bill electricity because kila siku, oh, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. You hang up. They're always communicating. They're always texting. If they're not texting and calling, they're talking together. They're in the house together. First of all, if me and my man are chilling, we are Netflix and chill, just watching our movies, and then the mother walks in, you know, unannounced, didn't say she was coming, and it becomes a regular thing where she just shows up. Do you amekuja ameketi, oh, tupike kashai, ameketi hapo. Now one watching movies with her son. That's a problem. That's
a mama right there. I think another major one is whenever you want, hata ukisema unataka kwenda Maldives na mmebook flight, mmebook mpaka room, mmebook mpaka, you know, cruise ya maji, scuba diving, mmeingia kwenye, you have booked everything, it's fully paid, and the mother says, hey, Karaja, unajua sija kuona siku mingi, unaweza pitia tu hapa. You are going to cancel your vacation because a mother will always be first priority. Your needs will always come after. if I am to choose between going to help you with your ultrasound at the hospital and my mother saying she wanted me to take her to her chama, guess what? Guess what? You are going for your ultrasound alone. In fact, it can go so far as if the mom doesn't like you and you're about to give birth. And she said, I'm not feeling too well. Guess what? You're going into labor on your own because madams ashaenda kuona mamake.
My mother needed me.
My mother was sick. I had to go and, babe, you have to understand. It's always that. Babe, you have to understand. My mother needed me. Those statements.
The ghetto. It's like a white fridge. Very ghetto. And also just the inability to set boundaries. And I've been on this thing where I've been reading Reddit threads. Mimi and Reddit, one WhatsApp group, you know, because those stories you're like, is this true? The audacity of some of these mother-in-laws, and just puts a bad name for mother-in-laws out there because the lack of boundary. Just because she gave birth to this person doesn't necessarily mean that she has to be in every space. They have to breathe the same air all the time. And you'll find this where, you know, I've mentioned unannounced visits, you know. They didn't say they're coming, they've showed up. They didn't say how long they're staying, they are just staying. You also like find out, you know, your bedroom activities, things that are private between you and your man. Even your mother is privy to them. Pillow talk, you are sengenying something, and then you hear it with the mother-in-law in personal conversation, and you're like, what do you mean?
What?
These are, you know, intimate details, things you'd all tell your partner. Maybe you've just found out you're pregnant and you want to, you know, those first months or weeks, you want to each to be private, intimate, because the evil eye is a true thing. My God. So you just want to keep it private. And then your mother-in-law is congratulating. You're like, why? Why would you do that? So boundaries, if there are no boundaries, it's probably because of that dynamic.
And quickly, as we go home, there's that thing we're told, there's a statement, a very important and very common statement. Mtu ambaye hajazuru, haja travel, they only know their mother's food is the best food. And that is the literal definition of a baby boy who is a mama's boy. Because chakula ya mama yake ndio tamu. It's nice, but I wish you added, you know, mchuzi mix like my mother. This chicken is very tender, but you know when my mother makes it, Yo, shida. Kuna shida mahali. What's another one quickly?
I think as we're leaving, we also see, we grew up seeing that advertisement. It was something that was very normalized about this mother-in-law who would come visiting and she would check for dust and do this. This is my house.
Crazy.
Okay, you no longer have space. You don't even have an opinion. You're a guest in this house. So just look out for these things and always nip them in the bud very early on.
And finally, I think frequent criticism of you. If the mother says, "Iyo nywele yake hata sijaipenda," unakuja unaambiwa, please. The same Turi amesema, she will walk in the house and she will literally just look for dust and stuff like that, or taste your food and she's like, this is not for me. That constant criticism coming from the mother, or he'll tell you, "Bede, my mom told me." There is no worse thing that you will ever hear in this world than my mom actually told me. I remember there's one I watched where they'd met the parents, and then the mother had met the fiance, and then the mother says, "Yeah, she sounded like someone who has some serious insecurities." And this man comes and repeats it to her. "Yeah, actually my mom said you're very insecure." What do you mean, Kaka Braza? Those things are huge signs carried forward from mama's boys. If you're trying to avoid those people, that's how you avoid them. This has been Ibri Let's Talk with myself, Kathomi Kathomi, and until tomorrow, see ya.
My name is Turife, and I'll see you tomorrow.
There's